Hello, welcome to the next episode of the United Lyme football channel. Today we're going to discuss transfer market, and news broke this morning that Manchester United and Bayern Munich are involved in talks for a swap deal between Scott McTominay of Manchester United and Ryan Gravenberch of Bayern Munich. On the surface, a swap deal looks like one player coming in, one player going out. A swap deal is very important for Manchester United going forward for this transfer window because the club, we are very close to breaking financial fair play rules. So the club, they have money, they can make these signings, but they do not want to break financial fair play rules. If the club is in breach of these rules, they might be fined and then they're gonna be banned for 2 transfer windows. So that would mean Manchester United could not make any signings for 2 consecutive transfer windows. As currently constructed, the squad, imagine Manchester United squad with 2 transfer windows banned. We cannot bring any player in. So the board understand this situation the club is in currently, hence they have been so frugal with spending this transfer window. They need to sell some players to have a cushion, a buffer to make more signings. This swap deal is very important for Manchester United currently in this transfer window and in the space of signing players with the remaining days left in this transfer window. So let me just give you a simple breakdown of what a swap deal is in football and why it is important for Manchester United. A swap deal in football is one player going in, one player going out. I'm going to use a round figure of $50 million. So let's go with player going out first, which would be Scott McTominay going out. So Manchester United would have sold Scott McTominay to Bayern Munich for $50 million. Now it's about how the figure is recorded in the books. So Manchester United would receive $50 million for Scott McTominay from Bayern Munich. For this off-season this year, it will reflect that Manchester United got $50 million, right, for Scott McTominay. Now we're gonna purchase Ryan Gravenberch for the same $50 million, but again, it is how it is reflected in the books. So if Manchester United give Ryan Gravenberch a 5-year contract, what happened is it's reflected as the $50 million over 5 years. So the club would actually reflect like they're paying Bayern Munich $10 million per year. So what would happen is in the book, it will say that Manchester United spent just $10 million for this year, but they receive $50 million for Scott McTominay this year. So when it comes in, it's reflected as the total amount in one transaction. But when it's going out, when you're buying a player, when it's money going out, it's reflected over the length of that contract that is given to the player. Okay? So Manchester United would have received $50 million for Scott McTominay, but in the books it will reflect that they have spent just $10 million for Ryan Gravenberch for this year. Then next year will be a next 10, following year for 5 years. So what will happen is it will reflect that Manchester United made a profit of $40 million for this year. Then that would increase the flexibility for the financial fair play rules. So then now we can go ahead and make purchases. We can go ahead and get players in, because now we have a $40 million over here plus whatever we had, so we are like to get players. So that is why the swap deal was proposed, and that is why it is very instrumental, very fundamental that we get this deal done just for the books. Just for the books. So it allows us flexibility in making more purchases in this window. With that being said, I hope you guys understand that it's just a simple explanation. If you guys want me to go into the details in the next video, put it in the comments and I will do that for you guys. So what essential now is that $40 million that we would now have, and we can spend that $40 million for the remaining days in the transfer window to save this. Well, I don't think it can be saved. Let me use salvage what's left of this transfer window. The first position that we need to address is in the middle of the park. I'm going to do a next video about the striker situation and as right center back. But let's just do the midfield, central midfielder first. We need to have somebody else in that midfield to help Casemiro, Bruno. We need our next number 6, a defensive midfielder in there as well as a part of the squad. Because last season Casemiro, he got red cards, he got yellow cards, he was out the team for a while, and we look so unbalanced. We look like we didn't have a spine, and we need to address that issue. We need to have a squad that has depth. Last season we played like 60 games. This season we're expected to play that amount as well. If we have a deep cup runs, we'll play like 60 games. Casemiro cannot play 60 games, 90 minutes. At one point we're playing 3 games, a game every 3 days after the World Cup. And fatigue set in, and those lazy tackles, their cards picked up, red cards and stuff. So we need a central midfielder. We need somebody with physicality. We need somebody with height. We need somebody who can bring the ball, press resistance, can pick the passes, good tackler. We need somebody in that engine room to help with our midfield. Now, I'm not saying that we need to replace Casemiro. I'm not saying that. That's far from it. I'm saying we need depth in the squad. We need depth in this team. And central midfield, we have been overrun in the 3 games we're playing so far. So we need to address that issue. We need more steel in the middle of the park. I have 4 ideas, I have 4 transfer solutions. The first one is Amrabat from Fiorentina. This is a player that Erik ten Hag wants. That is his main target. His first priority is Amrabat. Amrabat, he has stopped training with Fiorentina first team. This is a player who also wants to move to Manchester United. But we do not have the funds to go and get that player as it stands. If we go and get that player, we breach the financial fair play rules, and the club does not want to break these rules. Amrabat, he's valued at like $30 million. However, with other teams like Liverpool in the mix, it's gonna go to like $40–45 million to get Amrabat. This is a player that he had an excellent World Cup for Morocco. He's combative, he's press resistance, energetic, he retains possession well, he wins possession, and he also knows to find that simple 15-yard pass that gets him up the pitch. That 15-yard pass that we go up the pitch, we keep going forward. He doesn't dwell on the ball for long, he just ticks it over. And that is something that Erik ten Hag needs in his system that he's trying to play. And I think Amrabat is the ideal person to come in and give us minutes in the middle of the park. Now, alternative, if we cannot get Amrabat, we have this guy named Ibrahim Sangare from PSV. He's 25. He's 6'3" He has height, physicality, and this one he can press with the ball. He can dribble with the ball. He can drive to the middle of the park with the football. If we don't get Amrabat, I think we should look at Ibrahim Sangare as an alternative option to Amrabat. The third person is someone with Premier League experience or someone that knows the Premier League, because when persons come to the Premier League, they always complain that hey, the physicality is a lot different in the Premier League than what they're used to. So if we have someone in the Premier League that is used to the physicality, that's playing week in, week out, we can also look at that person as a possible solution. And that person is Amadou Onana from Everton. If you guys have not watched this kid play, you guys should watch him play. He's 22 years old. He's like what, 6'4", 6'3" and a half, 6'4". He's valued at like 45 million euros. If Manchester United is only one that is going for this kid, I think 30 million, 35 million easily, and we could get Amadou Onana. A cheap alternative, and this is the last option. Is Wilfred Ndidi from Leicester. He got relegated last season. He's still 26 years old. He had injury plague season last year. Didn't play much last season, but he has a Premier League experience. He's a bit shorter than the guys before. He's 6 feet flat. Yeah, he's 6 feet flat, and he is more defensive minded than these players are. So he's a number 6. He can play that position by himself. He doesn't have to play in a double pivot. He can play a 6 by himself and allow players like Bruno Mount to get to the pitch, and he can cover those areas. Again, I'm not saying we should get a Casemiro. I'm saying there are games in which we can rest Casemiro. There are games in which we need to provide more steam in the middle of the park, and he can also play in a 2 with Casemiro to see out games. So we're leading 1-0. We have 10 minutes to go. We're being overrun. Here comes in a player that comes in, play double pivot, sit in front of the back 4, and ensure that we do not concede. When the ball pass forward, keep it ticking over. That's all we want somebody in midfield to do. So there you go. That's my 4. I provided 3 options because Eric Ten Hag, he has his ideal person in Amrabat, and I hope that this deal goes through for Scott and Gravenberch, so we can have the flexibility to make more signings. Stay tuned. See you again for the next one. Like, share, subscribe. I have a next one coming out today as well. Peace.